relying upon them, calling on them in terms of banking on them, that this is what is going to lead me out. And that is manifest from what the majority of your efforts are directed towards, what the majority of your time is oriented around, is what you are dependent upon. لا يخلقون شيئا, they create nothing. وهم يخلقون, they themselves are created. And so there is this state of psychological idolatry, at least, when these constructs or these concepts or these ends become absolutely everything for someone, that they are the end all. And we make statements, we say sentences with respect to that. If I don't have this, I don't have anything. I have lost everything. That I found you, I found everything. Whether that's respect to a romantic relationship or a passion that someone has for a career or some amount of business success. And those absolutist terminologies are reflecting something very important with respect to our conception. That they've lost everything when that happens. Their health, they've developed this serious chronic illness or this terminal illness, they've lost everything. Or that member of their family passed away, everything is done for them. And when we use this everything, nothing, these kinds of absolutist terminologies, this is reflective of that idolatry that, at least at a psychological level, we have fallen into. And when we do fall into that, then we're putting ourselves up for despair. For when something limited becomes everything absolute, when it is had, when you have it, and it shows its shortcomings, that it didn't really take care of every one of your needs. The way a child says that if I have this toy, this is it. I won't want anything else after this, just this one last one. We never really grow out of it. Only the form of the toy changes. It may become from a toy car to a real car, or a Barbie doll to a, and from this, that, and the third. Prince Charming in real life, whatever. And when that is had, when that person is in your life and you see the shortcomings and faults, you see that your life is still not fulfilled. And so despair falls in. And so people who have achieved a lot get to the top of their careers in this and that or the third, but then find life not worth living. Or people who spend their lifetime in pursuit of those objects never get them, or get them and lose them. And then despair follows. I lost everything. Nothing is worth anything anymore. There is no meaning in life left. And so why bother? All hope is lost. Despair settles in, because precisely that idolatry was resorted to. Amwatun ghayru ahya. All of what you're turning towards, dead, not living. وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ. They don't even understand أَيَّانَ يُبْعَثُونَ, when they will be raised to life again. إِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهُ وَاحِدٌ. Your ilah is only one God, only one Allah, the one ilah worthy of being relied upon, worthy of being called upon. فَالَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ. And those who do not believe in the hereafter, قُلُوبُهُمْ مُنْكِرَةٌ. Their hearts are refusing to believe. They're settling for this immediate gratification that this has to offer them, because they don't have a vision that includes a life after death. وَهُمْ مُسْتَكْبِرُونَ. And they're arrogant. That the signs are repeatedly telling them that their constructs are short-sighted, that their understanding is limited, that what they have designated to be God is not actually God. Yet their arrogance, they don't see what they are being educated, what their experience is showing them. لا جرم أن الله يعلم. Assuredly, without a doubt, Allah knows ما يسرون وما يعلنون. What all of what they conceal and all of what they reveal. إنه لا يحب المستكبرين. Allah does not like those who are arrogant. وإذا قيل لهم, when they are asked, ماذا أنزل ربكم, what has your Rabb revealed? قالوا أساطير الأولين. They replied, mere stories of the ancient ones. To them, the Qur'an doesn't add anything to their knowledge. To them, it's just stories that are ancient, the tales of of the past people, of no benefit to them. So you can say that outright with respect to referring to the Qur'an as being tales of the ancient, or not say it with your tongue, because that would be blasphemy, but have that as an attitude. That this sits on your shelf as neglected as tales of, Disneyland or whatever. As utterly useless in terms of our interaction with them. يحملوا أوزارهم كاملة, so that they may carry full loads of their own burdens يوم القيامة, on the day of judgment, ومن أوزار الذين يضلونهم بغير علم, and the load of the burdens of those whom they misled out of ignorance. ألا ساء ما يزرون. There's going to be, that is a very ridiculous burden for them to bear. قد مكر الذين من قبلهم, those before them also plotted. فأتى الله بنيانهم من القواعد, so Allah came at the very structure, at their foundations. فَخَرَّ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّقْفُ مِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ, so their roof collapsed upon them from above them. وَأَتَاهُمُ الْعَذَابُ, and the punishment came to them مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ, from where they never even conceived it. ثُمَّ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, then on the day of judgment, يُخْزِيهِمْ, Allah will further humiliate them. وَيَقُولُ, and will say, أَيْنَ شُرَكَائِي, where are those associates, my partners, whom you thought were me, other than me, whom you had designated to be gods other than me, الَّذِينَ كُنْتُمْ تُشَاقُّونَ فِيهِمْ, concerning whom you used to dispute. قَالَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمِ, those blessed with knowledge will say, إِنَّ الْخِزْيَ الْيَوْمَ وَالسُّوءَ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ, definitely humiliation and misery is upon the disbelievers. الَّذِينَ تَتَوَفَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ الظَّالِمِي أَنفُسِهِمْ, those who will be taken in death by angels while they were unjust to themselves, that they had the capacity for tawheed, they had the capacity to believing in Allah, that becoming bigger than who they are, that whatever they're believing in, loving, ultimately, absolutely, finally, is making them small. And Allah would have made them bigger than that, would have expanded their own internal spiritual capacities so much more. فَأَلْقَوْا السَّلَمَ, then they will be submitting completely, saying, مَا كُنَّا نَعْمَلْ مِنْ سُوءٍ, we used to do nothing wrong. بَلَا, the angels will say, of course you did. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, without a doubt Allah is in full knowledge of what you have been doing. فَادْخُلُوا أَبْوَابَ جَهَنَّمَ, so enter through the gates of hell, خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا, to live in it forever. فَلَبِئْسَ مَثْوَى الْمُتَكَبِّرِينَ, how despicable is the residence of those who are arrogant. وَقِيلَ لِلَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا, and those who have the taqwa of Allah will also be asked, مَاذَا أَنزَلَ رَبُّكُمْ, what did your Rabb reveal? قَالُوا خَيْرًا, they would respond, the best. لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا, for those of excellence. فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً, in this world is the best, is good. وَلَدَارُ الْآخِرَةِ خَيْرٌ, and the abode of the hereafter is even better. وَلَنِعْمَ دَارُ الْمُتَّقِينَ, and how excellent is the home of the people of taqwa. That as far as Allah's people are concerned, they are the people of dunya and akhirah, that they do not choose one or the other. They don't have that black and white view of the world. It is for them one related to the other. Dunya makes akhirah worthwhile, because it is through dunya that you achieve what you achieve in akhirah, and akhirah makes dunya meaningful. وَلَنِعْمَ دَارُ الْمُتَّقِينَ, and how excellent is the home of the people of taqwa. جَنَّاتُ عَدْنٍ يَدْخُلُونَهَا, gardens of perpetual residence, they will enter into them. تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ, beneath which rivers flow. لَهُمْ فِيهَا مَا يَشَاءُونَ, for them is in it is whatever they desire. كَذَلِكَ يَجْزِي اللَّهُ الْمُتَّقِينَ, that is how Allah rewards the people of taqwa. الَّذِينَ تَتَوَفَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ الطَّيِّبِينَ, the angels will take away them at death while they will be in a state of goodness and purity. يقولون, saying, Salamun alaykum, peace be on you. Udkhulul jannata bima kuntum ta'malun, enter paradise for what you used to do in terms of actions. هل ينظرون إلا أن تأتيهم الملائكة, are they only waiting for the angels to visit them? أو يأتي أمر ربك, or the command of your Rabb comes. كذلك فعل الذين من قبلهم, that's how the people before them used to act. وما ظلمهم الله, and Allah was not unjust to them. ولكن كانوا أنفسهم يظلمون, in fact they were unjust to themselves. فأصابهم سيئات ما عملوا, so the evil consequences of their actions struck them. وحاق بهم ما كانوا به يستهزئون, and they were enveloped by exactly what they used to mock, i.e. the punishment. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا, and the people of shirk will say, لَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا عَبَدْنَا مِن دُونِهِ مِن شَيْءٍ, if Allah wanted, we would not have worshipped anyone besides Him. نَحْنُ وَلَا آبَاؤُنَا, neither us nor our forefathers. The fact that we are is saying that Allah is giving us a sanction, is allowing us to do it, therefore we're doing it. وَلَا حَرَّمْنَا مِن دُونِهِ مِن شَيْءٍ, and nor would we have prescribed prohibitions that declared haram other than what He has declared haram. كذلك فعل الذين من قبلهم, thus did people before them act. فهل على الرسل إلا البلاغ المبين, is there any other responsibility upon the messengers except to convey the message clearly? Allah doesn't even indulge in their vain discussions, their arguments. They're not even worth responding to just yet. They are responded to in other places. We saw in An'am, A'raf detailed explanations, but right now frustration. exasperation with them. Go to hell, I don't want to talk to you. This is not even worth engaging with. You don't even want an answer. You don't even want a response. This is not your justification that is looking to be responded to. You're not engaging in discussion. You're just, for you, this is the categorical end statement after which you don't want to have any other discussions. وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا, and we have raised a messenger in every community, أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ, asking them to enter into the ibadah of Allah and keeping away from taghut. Taghut being that which has overstepped its own boundaries. فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ هَدَى اللَّهِ, among them were those whom Allah guided. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ حَقَّتْ عَلَيْهِ الضَّلَالَةِ, and among them were those who deserved misguidance. Again, in the context of the discussion that we were having, understand taghut, when we said that something restricted and limited is understood to be unlimited, unrestricted, and absolute. That's precisely what taghut presents itself as. That taghut is more than what it actually is. That it doesn't remain restricted in the boundaries that it has to present itself as absolute and the end all, the idol of people's longing and worship. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ حَقَّتْ عَلَيْهِ الضَّلَالَةِ, and among them were those who deserved misguidance. فَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, so travel through the earth. فَانْظُرُوا, and look. كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُكَذِّبِينَ, what was the fate of those who rejected. إِن تَحْرِصْ عَلَى هُدَاهُمْ, if you are eager for their guidance. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي مَنْ يُضِلُّ, Allah definitely does not guide those that He has misled. He has already decided upon their misguidance, or those who have chosen to be misguided. وَمَا لَهُم مِّن نَاصِرٍ, there is no one to help them. وَأَقْسَمُوا بِاللَّهِ جَهْدَ أَيْمَانِهِمْ, and they swear their strongest oaths by Allah. لَا يَبْعَثُ اللَّهُ مَن يَمُوتُ, that Allah will not raise the dead to life. So this was one particular segment of that population who disbelieved in the hereafter outrightly. Bala, why not? وَعْدًا عَلَيْهِ حَقًّا, it is a true promise binding upon Allah. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, but most people just don't know. لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمُ الَّذِي يَخْتَلِفُونَ فِيهِ, He will gather everyone together, so He makes clear what they were disputing about. The intellectual disagreements, the interpretive disagreements that people have are a warrant for the hereafter, for the day of judgment. That these disputes have to be cleared out. That there are so many discussions that are unresolved, or even you can't see an end to them. And so the day of judgment promises to be that day where all of these questions will ultimately be resolved. وَلِيَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, and so the disbelievers may discover أَنَّهُمْ كَانُوا كَاذِبِينَ, that it was them, they were in fact the liars. إِنَّمَا قَوْلُنَا لِشَيْءٍ إِذَا أَرَدْنَاهُ أَن نَقُولَ لَهُ كُن, without a doubt, our word for something when we intend it is nothing but that we say to it, be, فَيَكُون, and it is. Kun fayakun. وَالَّذِينَ هَاجَرُوا فِي اللَّهِ, and those who emigrated for Allah, مِن بَعْدِ مَا ظُلِمُوا, after being oppressed, after being treated unjustly. لَنُبَوِّئَنَّهُمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنًا, we will provide them a good settlement in the world. وَلَأَجْرُ الْآخِرَةِ أَكْبَرُ, and the reward of the hereafter is even greater. لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ, only if they knew. So if you have placed your house where you live, the source of income that you have, as the ultimate source of your refuge, of your provisions, then yeah, migration is a big deal. Not where are we going to eat from? Where are we going to go if not here? But if you understand Allah to be the source of that, and He's given you good reasons to leave it, to migrate, then you understand there is plenty more from where this came from. That you don't place this restricted resource that you have as the end all, as the absolute, as everything. And so it can be sacrificed if necessary. الَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا, those who patiently persevere. وَعَلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ, and rely upon their Rabb alone, not on the things that they've been given, but on Allah. Not on the relationships that they have alone, but on Allah ultimately. So that those are the people who will get that reward. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن قَبْلِكَ, and we did not send before you, Ya Rasulullah, إِلَّا رِجَالًا, except men. نُوحِي إِلَيْهِمْ, we inspired them with revelation. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ, so ask those with the scripture if you do not know. So people of the book, the Jewish communities, they're scholars, being given the due respect prior to migration even, that even you will find verification for the Quranic narrative from them. An openness to their scholarship, in kuntum la ta'lamun, if you do not know. Bil bayyinati was zubur, and with clear signs and scriptures. Wa anzalna ilayka dhikr, and now we have sent down to you the reminder. The Quran is not standing as a novelty, just came out of the blue. There is an entire institution that backs it up. There's an entire historical tradition in which it stands, that it converses with, that it actively engages with, that you cannot in isolation understand it. And so those scriptures and that entire tradition is important for the veracity of the Qur'an itself. وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الذِّكْرَ, and we have sent down to you the reminder, لِتُبَيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ, so that you can make it clear to the people. And this is very consistent practice within the Qur'an, that it doesn't claim for itself an autonomous self-sufficiency, telling you, you only need the Qur'an and nothing but the Qur'an, and then don't you dare go anywhere other than the Qur'an. Absolute rubbish as far as the Qur'an's own narrative is concerned. Because this is what those people use when they want to reject hadith, for example, or the entire tradition of Muslim scholarship spanning 14 centuries. And this is precisely why gatherings such as these are even frowned upon from the scholarly tradition, because it is precisely from here that all of those hadith rejections began. That it was always starting from, you don't believe in the Quran is primary, you don't need anything other than the Quran, we should go back to the Quran, and there are hadith that contradict with the Quran, and so we should take the Quran. And these slogans sound so nice, they sound so fancy, they sound so good. And then they would bring about a couple of hadith from here. You're going to believe in this hadith? You're going to believe in this hadith? Look at what this says. Look at what this says. Utter ignorance. Utter ignorance. And this is precisely what people across the past century, in particular, Indian subcontinent has been blessed with these people more than any other part of the world, apparently. As to how they begin with this, as to how they remove Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's authority as the primary recipient and interpreter of the Qur'an, the most authoritative one. They would take that away from him and they give that to themselves. And so you will find as many as these cuckoo heads that are out there who make these claims of hadith rejection, tradition rejection, that's how many interpretations there are. As if removing Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or hadith for that matter, if that would have made us unanimous on the Qur'an, that is as naive, as mentally infantile as it can possibly get. You don't get more ignorant than that. Because that person perceives as if the Qur'an is just laid out and it is one monolithic entity, and as I see it, everyone else should see it as well. Not realizing that there are always interpretive lenses. You're always going to use some form of interpretation when approaching the Qur'an. And the most authentic of that is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, and how the Sahaba took it from them, and those with the Sahaba took it from them, and then it's an entire tradition continuing all the way down to our time. And you pop up in the 20th century with your genius mind, remove all of that, by the way, of which you are completely ignorant for the most part, have no understanding or scholarship in it whatsoever, and have the audacity and arrogance to remove that and place yourself in the seat of the primary investigator, primary interpreter. And then there are people who actually, this person is intelligent, educated, speak, what the, how stupid can you possibly get? It is not, there is no room for any respectful engagement with such people. Seriously, they don't deserve it. Their arrogance precludes any such possibility for the people who have made such claims. What we see within the Qur'an does not make these demonic claims. This is a demonic claim. I don't need anyone other than myself. That's precisely what Shaitan said. His attitude, what he looks to inspire as well. The Qur'an openly says, go in the ayat outside of me, find my affirmation. Understand me better by understanding the world outside of me. Go to the people of the book and their scholars, criticism in its own place, you will find affirmation of me. Ya Rasulullah, you are litubayyina linnas, you are responsible to explain to the people. And so those who take Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam out of the picture and put themselves in the grander picture, the Qur'an is taking help from every which source. Ma nuzzila ilayhim, as what has been sent down to them. So take that from them. Again, how do they do it? They ignore that the text requires an interpreter. They think the text appears or exists in isolation and goes directly to their heads and comes out directly as it is. When we're sitting here talking about the ayat of Allah, there is a series of interpretations that have taken